G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back for part 11 of the Path of Exile Survival Guide. In the last episode, we hit up the Gemling Queen for some quest stuff, head through here, killed General Gravicius, and did all that jazz, and we're now ready to go on and kill the first major boss of Act 3, Piety. We get to fight her for the second time in all of her glory this time around, not in that kind of like half fight that we did before. This one is much more epic, and I'm excited to get onto it. But before we move on, I have a few important pieces of character building to go over. Now, you guys have probably already seen the new variant of the beginner's tanky bow ranger build that I put up, and that'll be linked down in the description below in case you haven't seen it. But basically, I created a new lightning arrow variant of the build that has higher damage potential. It's slightly less tanky, slightly less efficient in terms of passive points, but I think it gets a really nice damage gain. It should be really fun for a lot of you guys who've been craving a little bit of a higher damage potential variant of this build. I'm actually going to be playing this variant of the build now, so I went ahead and created another ranger and muled a lightning arrow, which is just from Brutus. So that only takes like 20 minutes to do if you can, for a reasonably experienced player, and half an hour if you're not a very experienced player. Just go through, kill Brutus, and if you have a friend who's higher level, you can probably even get them to kill it for you as well. So making it nice and fast. So lightning arrow is the plan. Now, to get this up and running, what I would like to do is have a 3-link item with green, red, because we're going to run lightning arrow, pierce, and I'd love to run life gain on hit. And I can actually switch this out for split arrow now as well. Actually, I need less than multiple projectiles. Do I have that? I do have that. Okay, my bad. For now, I'll probably need to run a 3-link with lightning arrow, less than multiple projectiles, and life gain on hit. And we can also add pierce into that effect once we get a 4-link as well. So we should be keeping an eye out for a 4-link. Now, I did have a 4-link bow before, and keeping that would have been handy. And someone did point out in the comments below. But oh well, that happens. We'll get it under control soon. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention was, I'm such an idiot. At the end of the last episode, I went ahead and crafted a helmet because I thought I didn't have a good one. I was right, I didn't have a good one, but I had one sitting in my inventory ready to go. And look at this helmet, it's amazing. I found it like that very episode, I believe. So this has huge life, has mana on it, rarity, resistances, and accuracy. It is an incredible helmet compared to this crappy thing I'm wearing. So it's getting on my head, and look, now I am a Buckethead Ranger. Fantastic stuff. So we'll go ahead and run projectile weakness. I'm gonna have to do some playing around with links. So let's first check the vendor here and see if he's got anything for us that'll help us sort out our links. Now we've got death bows here coming in here. That's a pretty average one though, so I'm not gonna bother with that. Any armor pieces or items I could potentially use on this character? Not looking too good. Not looking quite like it yet. I'll go ahead and sell this crappy helmet that I got. Well, one fragment. See, even the vendor doesn't want it. One scroll fragment. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that even. Now, we also have this chest ready to craft. However, I'm not going to craft that until I level up once and can use it, because in my experience, when you go ahead and craft something like this, you tend to instantly find an upgrade, something else better, by the time you've actually leveled up to use it. So we're going to wait, but we have the stuff set aside to do so. But before I progress on, I actually do need to try and get at least some sort of setup going on with my skills. I think probably lightning arrow with less multiple projectiles is probably going to have to be the way to go. And we still want to run projectile weakness. That will give us our pierce for lightning arrow. Let's go ahead and put lightning arrow over here. And the DPS on lightning arrow is a lot less, but lightning arrow is a little bit misleading, because what it actually does is once it hits an enemy, it actually kind of has an AoE effect that hits 3 other enemies. So the damage potential of it is higher, despite the tooltip DPS being lower. Tooltip DPS never really tells the whole story. But hopefully, I wonder if I should try and get this 3-linked. It'll be very hard to get a green, red on this. So this is an interesting time to talk about colored sockets, crafting colored sockets. This is an evasion energy shield piece of gear. That means it's more heavily slanted towards getting green and blue sockets. And as you can see, it already has green and blue sockets. Rolling reds on this is pretty difficult. And I also don't want to invest too much currency in doing this, but I'm going to just do one. Oh! Man. Thank you, Chris Wilson. Thank you, RNGesus. That was perfect. I actually can't believe that. That's shocking. One chromatic and we got an off-color red with 2 green. That's nice. It's not particularly hard to get one off-color, but I can't believe I got it on the first go. That's pretty crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and ditch Ice Shot now. I'm not planning on using Ice Shot on this. If you want to play the Ice Shot or Split Arrow variant of this build, you can still feel free to do so. That is linked in the forum thread, which will be in the description below. And other than that, we just kind of have to level any extra skill gems we can, which is not much at the moment. I don't need to level 4, so let's level Pierce instead, because increasing the piercing amount of the projectiles will be very handy. So we have, just paying attention to my skills for a bit, let's put Frenzy on here. We've got a Curse here. I will put my Curse on this button so I don't get too confused with my other build. And I think we're ready to go. Alright, so sorry for all the housekeeping, but sometimes you want to go and do a bit of crafting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So, let's now jump into the barracks and head onwards to Piety. Now, we could farm around in Docks a bit longer to prepare ourselves a bit more for Piety, but I think it will probably be okay for us to run through now. Is it going to be okay for us to run Hatred? Probably not. It's not a huge DPS increase. Oftentimes, if you're not getting a huge DPS increase, you're better off losing some DPS to be able to spam your skills more freely. So, what am I looking for, for Flask? 26. I think the next level of Flask is at 34, so I've got a few levels to go. Looks like there's a new shrine up here, so you'll notice we are using Lightning Arrow now, and it has better AoE capabilities. Pierce is quite strong. Pierce with Split Arrow, sorry, is quite strong, but we'll go with this one for now, especially if we start using our Curse a bit as well. That'll help the Lightning Arrows pierce, and each time they pierce, they still proc their AoE ability as well, so they're going to be doing more and more damage as you do that. This is actually a blue pack, and we're taking him down pretty quickly. So yeah, we'll go ahead with this, and we don't have Fire Trap, Poison Arrow anymore, unfortunately, and just because I don't have enough sockets for. Ooh, Nubuck gloves. Oh, but my gloves, the current gloves, are so nice though. Those might be worth hanging on to though, because getting a 4-link now is actually a bit of a priority, since we're actually trying to. See, the thing about Lightning Arrow is it is a skill that you want to put a few supports on compared to other ones. Now that we're running Lightning Arrow, we also want to be very cautious of the Lightning Thorns, because Lightning Arrow hits many times, so Lightning Thorns is much more of a danger. So I'm pretty much just going to be heading to the kind of north or northwest of the waypoint from here to find the next zone. We're getting just brutalized by these lightning spellcasters here. Let's get the hexing shrine. There we go. We'll do some random curses on them. Should help things out a little bit. Oh no! Getting destroyed. Running out of life there. Let's use some of our life leech. We do have life leech on our character at the moment, so that's pretty handy. Did we get that from the tree, or where do I have life leech from currently? Might be life gain on hit or something. Oh yeah, that's right. We're running it on our skill. Duh. Okay, let me work down these guys, and we'll continue along. There we go. I've got a flask charge finally. So, as you can see, I'm feeling a little bit squishier at the moment, but not too bad. Ooh, Conversion Trap is a very handy skill to have. That's one of those skills that almost anyone can use. Now, the mana cost of Lightning Arrow is also much more absurdly high, so that could be tough. Once we switch over to Blood Magic, it's going to be really easy to support it, but for now, it might be difficult. We actually might have to switch back to another skill until we get Blood Magic. We'll see how it goes. I'll play it out a bit and see how it feels. Okay, so you can see we're heading up the stairs now where General Gravitius was before. We've already killed him, so we don't need to kill him again, so I can actually just go ahead and avoid him. It's actually way too long a fight to kill him again for way too little return. So we'll just skip past him, go past his tent, take a little bit of a detour around here, and just try not to get destroyed by all this lightning, man. So as you can see, much harder to support the mana on Lightning Arrow, so I'll keep testing it out and see if there's anything we can do. But I don't know. It might be a bit too slow with the mana restrictions until we get Blood Magic. But we're only a few levels away from Blood Magic, so we're getting close. Ooh, Static Shrine, that's pretty cool. Lightning arcs from you. I haven't seen this one before. That's pretty cool. It's going to work nicely with our Lightning Arrow now. Look at this. Oh, that's pretty cool. Cool stuff. I'm excited to see what other shrines there are. I haven't actually looked up what all the shrines are, so I'll be interested to just discover these as I play through. Keep a bit of mystery and excitement about it. I should be doing lots of shock stacking now. So eventually, what's going to happen with this build? You guys have probably seen the video. I'll assume you have. But eventually, we'll be getting Resolute Technique, which takes away our ability to crit, which is one of Lightning Arrow's biggest strengths, is the fact that it can shock stack enemies, which amplifies your damage. Now, taking that away is obviously not very good, but there is a way we can counteract that with the Static Blows cluster of passives from the tree, which gives us back a 20% chance to shock. And as you can see, I'm completely mana starved at the moment. I really want to kill off this pack though. So what I'm actually going to do is just take a trip back to town, get some mana back, and then destroy this pack, because it's going to give me a ton of XP. I want to kill these guys off. Let's see if we can group these guys up nicely. Now, the thing to know about Lightning Arrow is that it has exponentially increasing damage for the size of pack you attack, especially when you're doing something like Pierce, or later the Chain support gem as well. So the more enemies you're hitting, the more damage is going off. Ooh, Static Sapphire Flask could actually be handy. We'll keep a hold of that, because I believe that's the reduced ice damage, increase your cold resistance. And we're going to be encountering some pretty rough cold damage later on. Now, all of our support gems can be leveled up just fine. It looks like we've leveled up Frenzy. We're also free to level up Lightning Arrow as much as you want as well. That increases your projectile damage, which both affects elemental and physical damage, so it works fine in either this build or an elemental build. It will start to increase the mana cost of Lightning Arrow. At around level 5, it starts to increase a bit more dramatically, but we should be Blood Magic by that point. So as you can see, doing pretty decent AoE damage against these guys now. Oh, I've got them all bunched up in there. How good's that? They're all stuck in there like Three Stooges style. And just keeping an eye out for any other pieces of gear we could use. We've got these white gloves. When we level up, I might see if we can use either of these. The Nubuck gloves are still 2 levels away, but the Soldier's Brigandine could be handy. Although it's only 1 socket, which is a shame. It'd be nice to have a 4-link chest. Ugh. So we're going to head into Lunaris Temple, which has a struggle to get into that door because of the way that it's left ajar. But in this first area of Lunaris Temple, you'll go through a series of doors here, and there'll be a hallway full of these guys now. You kind of want to watch out for that. Draw some of them away if you can, kill them off. Because we're going to be encountering the zone boss in here as well. And he does things with the dead bodies of the enemies we kill, so we want to try and kill some of them away if possible. He does things with the dead bodies, isn't really a very nice way of putting that. He resurrects them. So as you can see, there's a reanimator here. I think it's actually the first time we've seen these guys. But as you can see, they turn the corpses of the enemies into zombies. So then we have to deal with not only them, but the zombies. They also use corpse explosion as well, I believe. So we don't want to stand on top of the corpses. There's a bit of a pack of blues in here, and the zone boss should be up ahead a bit more. He is one of those reanimators, and looks a bit different. He's got different color clothing on, so we'll be able to pick him out pretty easily. There's a 3-link death bow that could have some potential. If it has rolled very high in Fizz or something, could be very nice. Fizz and attack speed, that's what I want. Yeah, give me that. Yeah, there we go. Let's check this out. Ooh, +1 level of bow gems. This is an interesting stat to talk about. If you happen to get a bow with +1 or +2 level of bow gems in it, it's fantastic to run with Poison Arrow. Poison Arrow's AoE damage scales directly off the level of Poison Arrow, so increasing the level of Poison Arrow +2 or +1 levels means you kind of effectively have a Poison Arrow that's out-leveling the zone you're in, which means you're going to kill stuff really, really quickly. So if you happen to get one of these bows, then it might be worth going over to Poison Arrow. However, only +1, and I'm doing okay in terms of actual damage at the moment. So yeah, we'll get rid of that. Actually, we should keep and sell that, because +1, plus bow gems and plus gems mods vendors for alchemy shards, I believe. So we want to go take that to the vendor and get a little tiny bit of currency, a bit of a scrap of currency. Check the golden... Oh, there's this flask. Remember, we're picking up our flask to later vendor for Glassblowers Baubles. And here we go, we've got Fleshren, the Grand Inquisitor. So he will resurrect those guys there. So we kind of just want to focus him down, really. We should be able to tank those zombies just fine. With our single target from... Oh, looks like I'm desynced a little bit. With our single target from Frenzy, we should be okay. Just use our flask to tank. And there we go. Good stuff, good stuff. There is a... it's only 2-link. I thought it might have been 3-link. There's a 3-link full plate. Although that's a little bit of a lower level armor. And I kind of would prefer a green armor would probably be easier to get the colors sockets we want. But we're doing okay for now. Our chest isn't terrible. Like, it's got some life on it. It's got some mana on it, which is going to help our mana problems out a little bit. And it's got the links in the right colors we want, thanks to our lucky chromatic roll earlier. But you'll see Lightning Arrow is a bit fun. I kind of find it more fun than Split Arrow, although Split Arrow is an enjoyable skill. It has a nice thud to it. But I find the sound effect of Lightning Arrow to be very satisfying. So once you kill the boss and head into this zone that's kind of got all these pews on it, you want to go right. The zone exit always spawns on the right. So, ooh, Orb of Chance and an Armor Scrap. Very nice, very nice. I can't make a Spectral Throw build at the moment, but I can definitely go on D&D and talk to people later. I forgot since I was recording. So, heading through this way, you'll eventually reach the steps to Lunaris Temple 2. Now, in Lunaris Temple 2, there is a terrifying zone boss, and a waypoint. So let's encounter both of those. I kind of don't want to encounter the zone boss, and my recommendation is definitely to avoid the zone boss at all costs. But for the purposes of education, I will make myself a bit of a test dummy for you guys to see what these zone bosses do. So I've got another level, good stuff, getting inching our way closer towards Blood Magic, and this is the case with every Blood Magic build, where just before you get Blood Magic is the worst part of the build, because you're struggling for mana so much, because we're not picking up any mana nodes or anything like that. We could, but it's just going to slow us down, so we just kind of want to struggle through that spot before we get mana, and really, once we finally get Blood Magic, it's going to feel great. So, looking forward to that time, and that is the case with any Blood Magic build, where it just feels terrible until you actually get Blood Magic, and then things go very smoothly from that point onwards. So I'll start talking about some of the mobs in this zone, because there's an interesting collection. The first ones here you can see that are kind of like got all this fog stuff hanging off them is the ice-oriented mobs in this zone. They cast Arctic Armor. None of these guys are casting it at the moment, but maybe they will in a second if I don't kill them. But we've seen the Arctic Armor skill before. You've probably seen it before. It puts a little ice trail around you and causes you to take less damage from fire attacks and physical attacks. So those guys become pretty tanky when they actually cast their Arctic Armor spell, and they also slow you down if you get caught in the ice field behind them. The next one are these lightning-oriented ones. You can see from their buzzing hands, and these guys Lightning Warp. Lightning Warp is actually pretty dangerous. It's very easy to avoid, but it can shock stack you, and it can do quite a bit of damage. So as you see, that's their Lightning Warp. You want to be not near them at the start of their Lightning Warp, and not near them at the end of their Lightning Warp. So you want to avoid both of those, because it deals damage at both ends. So it's pretty easy. Just stay out of the field there, and you'll be fine. Looks like these ones are just normal. There's some plain ones that are non-elemental, like this rare here is one of those. Doesn't deal any... Well, the rare himself does extra elemental damage, but he doesn't have any extra abilities. These plain ones don't. But there is a third type of these creatures, which I'm not sure if they... Yeah, here they are. Here he is. So the Burned Miscreation. Here's the fire-oriented one. You can see from his flaming hands. And these by far are the most dangerous. And these will tell you if your fire resistance is too low. As you can see, he's now casted Righteous Fire, and look at our health go down. Even if he's not hitting us, as you can see, we have this little fire debuff above our head, which is a very, very dangerous dot. Now, I actually have very high fire resist at the moment, 50%, but I'm still taking a lot of damage. So if I take my fire resist ring off, you're going to see it's going to be even more painful. It just whittles your health away really quickly. And that's just with, one of these guys here. If you're surrounded by a lot of other creatures and getting hit by that, you're going to take a lot of damage. So you want to make sure your fire resist is pretty good heading through there. And you want to be aware of those guys. The best thing to do is, if you see the flaming hand guys, is to kill them first. But, if you get shock stacked by these guys, stuck in an ice field by the ice ones, and then burned by the burning miscreations, you're going to have a bad day. So try and avoid that. But I'll head through, and I think that's most of the mobs in this particular zone. There we go. There's Arctic Armor. You guys can see that, and I can show you the slowing effect here. Ugh, painful, painful. Makes you attack and move slowly. So pretty easy to deal with those guys, though. You just stay ahead of them. Ah, yes. Here's one of the other mobs to show you, the Tentacle Miscreations. These are known affectionately by players by another name, which I will not repeat in this particular series. I'm sure you guys will find it out sooner or later. But these guys use a fire and physical attack. It's a fast-hitting projectile attack. Now, if you're a character running Arctic Armor like these guys, you're not going to take any damage from this. But everyone else is going to take a lot of damage from this. It hits you, a lot of times, and if you get cursed with something like Vulnerability, you're going to take a lot of extra damage from this. We're pretty tanky at this point, and you can see it does a lot of damage as well. So, very dangerous combination of mobs in this zone, and Lunaris is a bit scary. It's pretty scary, especially as a newer player. There's just a lot of combinations of things that can all come together to do a lot of damage to you really quickly. If you're getting burned and hit by those tentacle miscreations there, you're going to take a lot of damage overall. So you want to be very aware of that and just kind of move through here slowly if you're struggling a bit. And don't be afraid to go back and do a little bit of dox leveling if you need to. Ooh, I actually just found a high-level Grove Bow. So level 35, Grove Bow is one of the base types of bow that has the fastest attack speed. As you can see, 1.55 attacks per second compared to like 1.10 on the Death Bow and 1.4 on the Royal Bow. Royal Bows aren't too bad, but the Grove Bow / Short Bow / Thicket Bow base type has very high attack speed. That's fine. Once you're Blood Magic, you can support the mana costs of that. But very nice bow to use. So I don't know, maybe I could hang on to that and craft with it later, because we're not finding yet currently a better bow than our current one, and we are going to want to upgrade when we hit level 35. So a Grove Bow could be excellent for that. It could be an excellent candidate. Now, they're not the highest fizz damage bows, but still, if you roll some fizz mods on there, it can still be pretty effective. And they have their attack speed to make up for that. Mostly, they're the best if you're running an elemental build, because you can attack very fast with each of those elemental hits, dealing a lot of damage. And we're finding some rings and amulets and things. I think I just picked up a gold amulet. It's actually a nicely rolled gold amulet too, but I'm still pretty happy with my amulet at the moment. Extra damage. Okay, looks like I've found the waypoint. So the zone boss of this zone is, I'm feeling very close then. If I haven't encountered him by this point, reaching the waypoint, he's probably just around the corner from here. If not, I'll backtrack and find him for you guys. Oh, I think this is the room. Okay, so learning to recognize Cole's room. Cole is the name of the zone boss in here, and is the guy that, especially in later difficulties, you want to avoid at all costs. Firstly, in his room, the only other mobs will be these mortality experimenters. These guys also cast the cursed temporal chains, which I'll see if I can get to cast on me, but it slows you down a great deal, which makes escaping from Cole a lot harder. Now, he's not going to curse me, so I'm just going to go ahead and kill him. But yeah, there'll be a group of these guys in there, so if you can try and draw those out and kill them separately, because you don't want to be cursed while dealing with Cole. Now, second step for identifying Cole's room is in this zone. Oh, there he is, run away. You'll see this kind of square large room with this upper section here and like these torture racks and things like that. Now there's two of these rooms in this zone, but the one with just the mortality experimenters is going to be the one with Cole in it. So we can see these guys here. There should be a few more than just two. Oh no, Cole! Now Cole might seem a bit familiar. Yeah, we've been temporal changed, as you can see now, so this fight's going to be much more difficult. We really want to kill those mortality experimenters before we deal with Cole directly. Now, Cole might seem pretty familiar. Blood, ground slam, chain hooking action. Yeah, he's pretty much basically just a reskin Brutus, but because he's in Act 3, he deals a lot more damage than Brutus does, and he's very dangerous. Just kind of the same way, in the same way that Brutus is. Now, if you're mechanically good at the Brutus fight, like if you're able to avoid his attacks very well, then you're probably going to do okay with Cole. But he does a lot of fizz damage, so let's see. Let's do this. Let's tank a Cole ground slam to see how much damage he does at normal. I currently have 1200 life, which is quite high. But where did he go? Cole? Yoo-hoo. Here he is. Okay. Alright, there's a punch. I want to get ground slam. Come on. Ground slam. Ground slam, Cole. You can do it. Oh, okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. So that was about 400 life, I think. So that was a non-crit, of course. If you happen to get crit, you're going to take a lot more damage for it. And if you happen to not have much armor, you're going to take a lot more damage now. So he's not too bad at normal. But in Merciless difficulty, lots of people will get one-shot by Cole. So you want to avoid him when farming these zones. But for now, we can just avoid him the same way we deal with Brutus, by just circle kiting around him to avoid his chain attacks. And as long as you keep moving to the sides, you're going to be able to avoid all of those attacks. Wonder how well I can actually tank Cole in normal difficulty. Let's see if we can tank him with some flask usage. I don't have many flasks at the moment, so it's probably not going to happen, but you can probably actually tank him with a character like this, which is a good sign of the tankiness of this character and our current gearing at the moment. So, anything good? There's an amulet. Ooh, a full leather. That could be good. Let's go ahead and drop some stuff and do some IDing. Come on, treasures. That's pretty bad. Ooh, 43 life. Alright, now we're looking pretty good. Although I really want my 3-link at the moment, so I don't know if we can actually use that at the current point. But let's go ahead and stash this aside for now and see if we want that later. The disc and gloves probably won't be an upgrade. I'm probably not even going to bother with identifying those at all. We're going to have to do a trip back to town to take our loot back soon. But, oh, we can actually try and craft the chest now. But again, we need a 3-link. We need a 3-link. Alright, well, I'm going to continue on. Actually, it looks like I did a big loop, so it's going to be up to the north here, past the waypoint. Since the entrance is down over here, it's going to be to the north of the waypoint, of course. That makes sense. There's a sun leather. That's appropriate level armor for this level if you're trying to look for some. But this Superior Soldier's Brigandine is going to be better just because it has quality on it. But again, we kind of need to get some linked gear before we can think about replacing our chest. So the link is kind of a priority moment, especially because our armor is okay. So we can live with just sticking around with our current setup for now, just to keep those links. Okay, and here's Lunara's Temple 3. I'm going to head into here and do a quick town trip, do some selling, and see if the vendors have anything as well, since we've also leveled up. I'll do my typical vendor run, checking for chromatic items, and checking for items with good links. Now, as you can see, that Deathbow's vendors for an alchemy shard. Only one, because it's, not a very good mod on it or anything, but, one alchemy shard's still something. Here's a 4-link death bow. Now we have a grove bow that's only got one socket on it, so maybe the death bow would actually be a good option. Is there anything else in here? Like, I could potentially think about changing my boots over, because they're, even though they have move speed, they're pretty low level. But, maybe let's do some bow crafting. I'm up for it. We'll see how we go. Now, because it's a weapon, we want to use our blacksmith whetstones first. Give it 5%. We only have one, unfortunately, so I'm not going to go ahead and buy any others, but we'll see how we go. Projectile speed's no good. Actually, projectile speed is a suffix, as you can see, death bow of darting, so we can actually still try and get the prefix of physical damage. Ooh, 10 to 19 fire damage is not really good enough to replace our current bow. So, we're going to use an alteration. I'm going to see if I can get anything better. Chill death bow. Yeah. 81. Ooh, 81 fizz damage. That's actually pretty good. Is that going to be good enough to replace our current one? Ooh, I think it might be. This one has a lot of elemental damage on it, but this might be worth it. Let's see what our DPS on lightning arrow is like. 74 compared to 88, so slightly better with the other bow, but the 4-link is going to be pretty nice. Let's go with the slightly lesser DPS and get a 4-link instead. Let's see if we can get some chromatic luck again. I would like 1 red. There we go. Nice. Not too hard to roll 1 red on a 4-link like that. Now later we can put on... Do we have Pierce? We do have Pierce sitting around somewhere. Here it is. Yes. Pierce on our lightning arrow. Fantastic stuff. Cool. So Pierce is going to slightly, increase our overall damage by allowing the lightning arrows to hit more mobs and proc more time. So that's going to be really nice. And we don't really need hatred at the moment. So this gives us a lot more freedom now in the gear we can get. We could use this armor here for extra life. Since this already has really good life on it, let's go ahead and use an augment to see what else we can get. Hey, cold resist. Sounds good to me. Fantastic. We're doing alright. We're doing alright on crafting. Now we don't need this item anymore. And we're probably not going to need those gloves or grove bow, but I'll just leave them in there for now. So we're looking good. Time to head back to Lunaris and do some more clearing through there. As you can see, we're looking much cooler now. So in this zone, there's a lot of the same mobs we've already encountered, but they're clustered much more tightly, and it looks like that one's a dead end this time around. Now, the way this spawns is random. I usually just tend to go to the right first, and you basically want to go as far out as you can, and then kind of head along. I'll show you what that means in a second. But the only other mob, you see here is the blood elementals, but they really do nothing. They kind of just pop up and can surround you a bit, so you want to watch out for that. The death bow we just equipped is a much slower attack speed, but since we're having some mana issues at the moment, that's actually not a problem. We hit harder but slower, which means we're more mana efficient at this point in time. Now you'll notice something fun. We have conversion trap. This should work on a rare straight up. Yeah, that's our rare now. Now this is a great thing to do if you're moving forwards into a dangerous room. You can go ahead and throw your conversion trap down, and it's going to help you. It's either going to get killed or it's going to help you kill stuff. So pretty fun. It can be used on totems, it can be used on all sorts of different things. It's just one of those skills almost anyone can use. How is this diamond ringed? Yeah, get out of here. Okay, so as you can see, you kind of head to the outside of this square section, and then you just want to continue along until you see an outlet, something that heads outwards. So these are all dead ends. We can kind of just continue on, watching out for all of these dangerous mobs, especially when their blue packs are going to deal more damage. Watching out for that. It looks like we might have seen the road there. Yeah, that's probably it. We'll double check. We'll move forwards. Try to stay out of those shock stacks. And as you can see, the burning miscreation doing a lot of damage to me there as well. So I'm just going to try and clear these guys off before I encounter too many all at once. Nope, looks like this one's a dead end, so we'll continue heading around. It'll be a long, thin sort of pier that heads out into the terrifying blood water. Yeah, this zone's pretty horrifying. It gets worse. It gets worse, don't you worry. Okay, here we are. So you'll encounter an upward steps. Now we actually want to go up a few of these. So once we've found the first one, we're now going in the right direction. Oh, and we've encountered the zone boss. This is Spinecrack. Now she deals a ton of damage. We've encountered lightning striking enemies before in one of the Act 2 mini bosses, and she's very similar. She just deals a lot of damage. If you don't have lightning resist, you're going to take even more damage, and that's kind of like a lightning fizz as well. So you just want to avoid that. Thankfully, it's not too hard to avoid her. And if you have like a defensive curse like Enfeeble, it'll actually make her a lot easier. But for now, we don't have that, so I'm just going to have to try and kill her alongside of these other mobs using Lightning Arrow. Use the AoE ability of Lightning Arrow to clear all of them out at once. Nice big crit there, making them all go on fire and get shock stacked. But there she goes, and she'll drop a little bit of loot as well, but not a ton. You can kind of avoid her if you want. She's pretty easy to just run past. So you'll notice when I group these guys up a bit that now with Pierce and the Curse and things like that, my AoE potential is becoming much better with Lightning Arrow now. As long as I can keep the mana up, I'm doing pretty well at clearing out large packs. And the larger the pack, the faster you clear it out, so it's a pretty nice skill that way. So next level, getting closer. We might take Unwavering Stance next level, although I don't think it's completely necessary. Actually, I might skip it until after I get Blood Magic. On a higher life build, you're less likely to get stunned anyway, so it's not too big a deal. Now, you'll notice some of these kind of whipping miscreations here will give you vulnerability curse on hit. By itself, not a great deal, but combined with these tentacle miscreations here, the hits they do, you'll take a lot more damage from because it's partially physical attack, and vulnerability causes you to take more damage from physical attacks. It also causes you to take more damage from damage over time effects, which includes the burning miscreations as well, so when you're cursed with vulnerability, be very careful. As I said, this zone's all about dangerous combinations of mobs, and I think it's kind of Grinding Gear Games' way of teaching you this, things can work together to kill you, and something to watch out for. So, final set of stairs, we're going to encounter a zone here with some carts at the entrance, and you can actually use these carts to know which direction to head in. It's the way with one cart, and so here's 2 carts. That means we don't want to head left. If this spawns on the right, we don't want to head right. We want to go the direction with 1 cart. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, I think we're right. So from here, you're going to encounter a big corner, and we've found the right one. So that's the trick to navigate this zone. So we're going to want to head through 2 sets of golden doors. Here is the first one, which leads into this cells area. Now, to navigate the cells area, you kind of just want to stick to the main walkway until you have to go through cells. So as you can see, we've gone along the main walkway here, and to continue along the main walkway, we kind of have to open the door, so we'll head through there. If you're using something like Lightning Warp or Leap Slam, which we will get Lightning Warp in this build later, then you can actually teleport or Leap Slam over these cell grates, which makes navigating through here a lot easier. But for now, we've got to do the old-fashioned run through. Looks like we've strayed a little bit. We want to actually head in this direction. So you will sometimes run into those dead ends. Not much you can do about that. But here we go. We should be getting closer to the next set of golden doors. Just up here, actually, it should be. And here it is. So second set of golden doors, and then we're going to be heading up a set of steps. Okay, so up the steps, and then we want to hook around to, I think the right or left, either way is fine, but we'll be able to go up this next set of steps here. And just up the top here, there will pretty much always be a pack with some blues in it, so you want to clear these guys off before you head through. Bit of extra XP. Oh, looks like we've got a rare too. Life regen. Life regen ones. Life regen, life leech, extra health mobs all take forever to kill. Especially, if you have lower clear speed, or if you're having some mana issues, for example, then that's going to be something you have to deal with. But oh well, we'll be okay. So from here, now's actually a good time to... no, we can head through the portal now. That's fine, to go through this red portal. And we'll take a portal scroll back to town to just make sure we're completely in order, clear out our inventory, do all that sort of stuff. Have a toilet break if you want. All that sort of jazz. Okay, so before we head back in, because we're about to encounter the final boss fight of this zone. It used to be the final boss fight of this zone. They've added another one. Well, the first major boss fight, we're going to encounter Piety. Now, we want to make sure our cold and lightning resistances are very high as possible. Fire resist is less important. Piety deals 3 forms of damage. She deals fire, cold, and lightning, but the fire one is very easy to avoid. Now, if you have positive run speed, like we currently do at 6% here, we're going to be able to avoid that fire damage very easily. However, the cold damage is super dangerous, and the lightning damage is quite dangerous. So, I'm going to go ahead and equip the cold and lightning resist ring here. 2 in one go, plus extra cold resist on it. It's going to be very nice. I'm just going to go ahead and replace the fire one here, because we actually don't need so much fire. So that brings us up to capped cold, pretty high lightning, and low fire, but the fire is completely a non-issue in this fight. So we're looking to be in pretty good shape, and all the rest of our gear is in pretty decent order. We've got plenty of life, we've got some extra damage and stuff like that. Now, the other thing we could probably do is switch life gain on hit to our single target ability, because although there is going to be some mobs in here we have to deal with, we can just kill those quickly with lightning arrow, and we're actually going to be mostly using our single target ability, so we'll go ahead and use that. If you can use poison arrow at this point, it's not a bad idea to do so. She does have energy shield, and you can use poison arrow, but I'm just going to go ahead with frenzy and try and keep her energy shield down. So, let's go fight Piety. This should be fun. And how gruesome is this? Grinding Gear Games. So here we have Piety. First thing we're going to do is kill this chilling portal. Fire one's okay, burning portal's okay. So straight away she's going to start using some lightning attacks. She has this lightning ball that we've encountered before. She has lightning storm that we've encountered before, and also a normal arc attack. Now we want to kill off these adds if we can, using our AoE ability to deal damage to her at the same time. Whenever we can, we want to attack and kill off these blue portals, because these blue portals are going to turn her into her most dangerous form. So how these actually work: if she runs into one of the red portals, she'll enter her fire form. If she runs into one of the blue portals, you guessed it, she'll turn into her ice form. Now the ice form is very dangerous, and the fire one is not so dangerous. Where has she actually gone? She's teleported somewhere and I cannot see her. Oh, she's in ice form. First thing you want to do in ice form is get behind a pillar. Hide! Run and hide! As you can see, I took a lot of damage from her ice form there, and we're actually going to kill off her chilling portals before we continue the fight. She was standing on top of another one, so she went straight back into ice form. Hide behind a pillar. Now you can also avoid this by running circles around her, but that's much more tricky. You want to try and hide behind pillars if possible. So otherwise, stay out of range of the lightning stripes there. Now, to avoid the fire form, simply run. Actually, our run speed is slightly too slow to avoid all of the attacks. If you're about 10% positive run speed, if you just run, she won't deal any damage to you. The good news about fire form is it doesn't deal that much damage, and you can actually probably just tank it. So, she has a high energy shield, essentially. You want to make sure you sustain damage on her as much as possible. So I'm going to even tank her fire form here to deal a bit of extra damage. I've got time for my health to heal back up. And when she starts doing her lightning attacks, after she's just done it, oh, she's going to go ice form. Okay, we're going to want to get behind a pillar. Oh no, we managed to kill it before she transformed. She's going to get in that one though, so we're going to hide behind this pillar now. Oh, she teleported. Watch to keep an eye out that she's doesn't have her teleport, her lightning warp up just before she goes ice form, because she will actually teleport while in ice form. So you want to keep her energy shield down as much as possible. I'm going to run and avoid most of the damage and attack her where she's stunned. You can see we get hit every now and then, but we can avoid most of the damage, even with pretty slow run speed. If you have positive run speed, though, very high positive run speed, you can avoid all of that damage easily. Now, we don't really want to eat the lightning, but we've got high lightning resist, so we're okay there. You're actually taking a fair bit of damage from her fire form because of our low fire resist, but that's okay. It's not the hardest one, not the bad one. If having low cold resist in this is much worse. But we just want to sustain damage on her as much as possible. Make sure to attack every 5 seconds if you can, even if you're having to move around a lot. If you keep attacking her every now and then, it'll stop her energy shield from regenning. Now, if we need to go back to town, now might be okay. Hopefully she'll call up some adds and we can use our lightning arrow to clear them out and get some charges back. But she's about to go ice form, so I'm just going to get one last hit on her and then get behind this. And we'll wait for her to finish. She's going to get her energy shield back. Ah, there's the ice portal in the way taking the damage. That's okay. She's going to go ice form again. So we're just going to have to get behind this pillar again. Now, if you're closer to her, I can actually show this off now. Oh, not quite, not quite. If you have a bit higher run speed, you can kind of loop around. The closer you get to her, the easier it is to run circles around her. So what we're going to do, since our life pool is very low, we have no mana and all of our flasks are empty, we're going to head back to town to refill our flasks. You want to do this quickly if you can, because if you've damaged her energy shield, you're going to be able to keep it low that way. Now, she's about half health, so we're doing okay. This could be a longer fight, but just take it methodical, avoid each of her attacks, hide behind the pillars if you need to, keep the damage on her as much as possible. If you're using poison arrow, you don't even need to worry about that. You can just let the poison cloud do health damage and not worry about her energy shield. That's why poison arrow is really nice for this fight. But otherwise, just keep up the damage as much as you can and just avoid as much of the damage as you can. Get good at avoiding ice arrow especially, because it becomes very dangerous in later difficulties. So fire, I'm just going to go ahead and tank this fire since we've got lots of health flasks at the moment. Oh, our health flasks are running a bit low there. I knew I could tank it before she exploded, but you might want to be a little bit more cautious. There's a lightning ball. We'll try and avoid the majority of the damage. The lightning storm is the most dangerous one. Where is she teleported this time? You can pop a Quicksilver if you're trying to avoid her fire form there. We can get her this time, no. She's going to go ice form. Get behind the pillar! And she will move around sometimes while in ice form, but most of the time she'll just stand there. So we'll keep up the sustained damage now. Getting nice and low. Now, if you have something that culls, you could have the culling support gem, or you could have power siphon, something like that. It's really nice to use a culling ability on it when her health gets below 10%. There's also some unique items that will allow you to cull as well, but it's probably a bit early in normal difficulty to worry about that. I'm just going to avoid most of those and continue just attacking, so I don't let her energy shield come back up. Now, if possible, you want to kill off these ice ones before she uses them. Haha, foiled. And now she'll be encouraged to go fire, which is a bit less dangerous. Yeah, we'll avoid most of those. You can see she misses a lot of the attacks there. And we should be able to finish her off. Oh no, we're not gonna, not this time, not this time. Oh, it's getting close. I want to do it if I can go without going back to town. Come on, keep the hits up. Running low on mana. We can do this. Oh no. so close there. Alright, there we go. Oh, there we go. So make sure to grab the tower key. That's the quest item of this boss. Make sure you don't forget it or you have to come back and do it again. Ooh, a yellow grove bow. That could be good. Let's see if we got any sick loots. We haven't had any really sick drops in this fight yet. Come on, grove bow. Oh, it's pretty rubbish. 1 to 3 fire damage. It's got some attack speed, but yeah, that's terrible. Alright, vendor food. And we'll check other things, like those gloves are really nice actually, 54 life. But our current runs are really good, so we're right there. No life on these guys, we don't need to ID the shield, and the belt's pretty rubbish as well. No sweet loots this time, but we're all good. Now after you kill Piety, and as long as you've got her key, make sure to get her key. We're going to head back to town, and we'll be able to go talk to, oh, what's his name? I always forget his name. But if we go talk to Grigor, here he is, over here, he'll give us a book, which gives us 2 passive points. Oh yeah, getting us much closer to blood magic. And bam, bam. We are super close to blood magic now. We'll actually probably pick up blood drinker, but we can actually go ahead and respec now. But I'll do that in the next episode because we've probably run a bit late on this one here in the trip to Piety. So that was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys for the next episode. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.